Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So in this episode we'll be seeing functions, conditional statements and the naming convention that we follow in programming languages. So without wasting any time, let's jump into our video. So why do we need functions? To separate different functionality and to maintain a clean code, we need functions. So there will be many functionalities in our application. In order to separate them and keep our code clean, and which is very useful for our maintenance, so we need these functions. We can reuse the same code that is present in a function whenever it is required in our application. So this is the syntax to define a function. First we need to specify access modifier, then we need to specify return type, method name and open the parenthesis and pass the arguments. So what is this return type? Return type is nothing but a data type which will indicate that this method is gonna return the type of data. The arguments are nothing but the data types that this method is expecting. So there are four types of functions. The first one, the function with no return type and no arguments. Let's discuss these one by one in our Visual Studio. Let me open my Visual Studio. I have already created the project. Let me define a class, public class name, example class. Okay, class name is example class. Now we're gonna define a function of this type. So what we need to specify first? Access modifier. Let's specify access modifier. Then what is the return type? There is no return type of this function. So if there is no return type, you need to specify void, and then we need to define a method name. Let it be function f1, and this method is not expecting any arguments. So in this case we need to define a empty parenthesis here. Remember, you are not supposed to pass void in here for the empty arguments. So let's do some operation in this function. Let's print console.writeLine function f1 has no return type and no arguments. Okay, so this is a function f1 with no return type and no arguments. Now let's define the second type. This function has a return type but it doesn't have arguments. Let's define a function public. See, it has a return type. Now we need to specify a return type. Now let's return a string. Okay, then we need to specify function name. Let it be function f2, and it is not expecting any arguments. Let's define a string example string is equal to, let's copy this, let's define a string function f2 has string return type and no arguments. Let's end this line with a semicolon, and now you can actually return this string. Now let's define the third one which has no return type and a function has the arguments. Let's define the third function, public. It has no return type, let it be void function f3. Let's pass two arguments that are int n1, int n2. Now let me take integer variable to hold the sum. Sum is equal to n1 plus n2. Now you don't have to return anything here because its return type is void. Let me print here itself instead of returning. Console.writeLine. This sum is, let's concatenate this string. Okay. Now let's take the fourth one. The function has both the return type and the arguments. Let's define public. Okay, return type will specify it as integer. Function f4. Let me take again two integers, int num1 comma int num2. Now I'll define a variable named result to store the result. Result is equal to num1 plus num2. Now you can return this result because it is returning the data of type integer. This result was the integer. You can return this result. Now let's see how do we call these functions. These are the syntax to call a function. Let's see one by one. We all know that in order to access anything that is present in a class, we need an object for that. If you don't know this, please check out my classes and object video. Now let me define an object for this. Is equal to new example class. Now take the object and press the dot in your keyboard. Now you can see all the methods or a function that are present in our example class. Okay, now let me call this function f1. This is a syntax to call the functions. You need object and call the function name, then close the parenthesis and semicolon to end the sentence, to end the line. Now I'll write console.readline just to hold the execution. Let's keep the breakpoint here and let's hit the start button. Now press F10, now press F11. This will take you to this function 1. Here in function 1 we are just printing function f1 has no return type and no arguments. Let's print. You can see that function f1 has no return type and no arguments. Now we'll call this function f2. Let me comment. It's okay. Let me comment this. You can select the entire thing and click on this button to comment this. Now let's take a same object and call function f2 and open the parenthesis and close the line with the semicolon. Now you can see that function f2 is returning a string which is a example string. So we are in a different class. You can store the data which function f2 is returning in a string variable. String result is equal to, remember it has to be string because function f2 is returning string data type. Okay, now let's print this result. Once you call this function, first the RHS side of the equation will be executed. First this will get executed. This will call the function f2. Function f2 will this function f2 has the string and it returns this string. The string which is returned by this function f2 is stored in this result. Okay, let's debug this. Press F10. We are creating a new object here. Now press F11. This will take the execution to function f2. We are creating a string and we are returning a string. See, still the result is null. Still it has not passed the string to this result. Now press F10. You can see function f2 has string return type and no arguments. So this is the string that function f2 is returning. Let's print this. You can see function f2 has a string return type but it has no arguments. Now let's comment this code. Okay. Control KC in our keyboard is to comment a code. Control KU is to uncomment a code. Okay. Now we will call function f3. Again take object of the class and click and select function f3 and open the parenthesis. Now you can see the intelligence. This function f3 is expecting two integers. Let's pass 10 and 20. It is expecting two integer datas. Now close the line with a semicolon. Function f3 is not returning anything, so you won't be able to store it here. Let's debug this function f3. F10, create an object, press F11. Now you can see that n1 and n2 are holding 10 and 20 because we are passing this data 10 and 20 which is of type integer, since function f3 is expecting two integer data. So this 10 and 20 will be saved in n1 and n2. Now let's add this 10 and 20. We have got the sum. We are printing it here only. We are not returning anything because it has no return type. The sum is 30. Let's call the function 4. Let me comment this. Example class dot select function 4, open parenthesis. See, again function 4 is expecting two integer data. Let me pass 30 and 40 this time, and you can also see that function f4 is returning int. Now you can store the value in some integer variable, because once the RHS side of this equation is executed, it will go to function f4. It will add these two data that we have passed. It will store that sum in this result variable, and then it will return the result. So this part of code will return the result to this integer val. Okay, let's print this. val. The val should be 40 plus 30, it should be 70. Let's run the application, press F10, creating the object. Sorry, we'll start the application again, press F10. Now press F11. Now you can see we have passed 30 and 40 to this integer arguments. Now let's add this, let's return the sum, and this sum, whichever returned by function f4, is saved in this integer variable whose name is val. Now let's print this. You can see the value is 70, which is written by function f4. Okay, this is how you define a function, and this is how you call a function. It is almost similar to this functions that are present in C, except for this access modifier. And okay, let's switch back to our slides and let's see the naming convention. So there are two types of naming convention. The one is Pascal casing and the other one is camel casing. In a Pascal casing, the first letter of every word should be capital. For example, the name that you are giving is add numbers. The first letter of every word, that is, there are two words, add and numbers. The first letter is A and N. These should be capital. So we use this Pascal casing when defining our method names or function name, global variables, class names, interface names, etc. And the camel casing, the first letter of every word, the first letter of the first word of the name should be in a lowercase, and the next word should follow the Pascal casing. That means the first letter of the first word should be in lowercase, and the second one can follow this Pascal casing. That is, every first letter in a word should be a capital. Let's see. You can see these class names. There are two classes. Class names. Class name is program. Here class name is example class. The first letter in every word is capital or using a uppercase. Now you can see this is a local variable. This variable is only available in this function. You can see that first word is in lowercase and the second word starts with the uppercase. Let's switch back to our slides. Let's see conditional statement. So in this video we're gonna see if statement as of now. Now we'll define another class, but we'll define it in another class file. So open this Solution Explorer, right click on this project, go to add and new item. Here you select a class. Remember, it should be of type C#. Now should give a class name, conditional state. Example, this is my class name. Click on add. This will create one more class file which consists of class. Now let me make this class as public. Now what we'll do is we'll create a function in this class, which will take a month number and prints the month name based on the number. It won't return anything. Month names int month number. Now if, let me define this, if month number should be less than or equal to 12, then enter this loop. Okay, before that, this is how you define this, define the conditional statement. You should add this if keyword, open the parenthesis. Here inside this parenthesis you need to specify a boolean expression, and after that open curly braces and close the curly braces. Let's call this method and check this statement in our application. Let's go back to program.cs. Let me comment all these. Let me remove all this. Now we have to create a object of this class is equal to new conditional statement. Now take the object name and press dot. You got this month names which we have just defined. What it is expecting? It is expecting a integer data. Now let me pass 10. Okay. Let's start the application. F10, press F11. Now we have passed 10. Since 10 is less than or equal to 12, it will enter this conditional statement. Let me define else. If none of the conditions are satisfied or true, then it will jump to else. We'll print something here. Dot right line. Invalid month number. Let's pass 13 this time and let me see it will go to else or not. Of course it will go. Press F11. You can see that month number is 13. Since month number is not less than or equal to 12, it will go to else and it will print invalid month number. So if again we'll see if month number if double equal to 1, then month is Jan. Again, if you want to check one more condition, after that you can specify else if. Else if this condition is not true, then execution will jump to this else if condition and it checks for this boolean expression. If month number is double equal to 2, month is Feb. Let's define one more. If month number is equal to 3, March, like this, we will have like this. You can have many statements. Okay, now we'll define a else. We will define month is December. Okay, let me pass 3 now. Press F10. Now press F11. We have passed 3. Month number is less than or equal to 12, true. If month number is double equal to 1, no. See, you can see false here, false. Again this is false. This is true. We are printing month is March. Okay, cool. So if you pass 12, you can see we have passed 12. If month number is double equal false, this one is false, again this one is false. When all the conditions are false, we are executing month is December. Month is December. That's it for this tutorial, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any doubts regarding functions or conditional statements, please drop a comment. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and click on that bell icon. So let's meet in the next video. Until then, peace out and happy coding.